You may have considered investing into real estate in Thailand at some point, but you're unsure of a number of things. What the facts are, who to trust, all valid reasons that can make you nervous about making that next step. And that's why today I'm with Kun Sirachol from LAF's Legal Lawyers and Attorney to find out how help is at hand, how you can get the right legal assistance and make the most informed decision about what is a really important decision. After all, money and property tends to be one of the bigger things that we buy. So thank you very much for joining me today.
Sure.
Before we talk about property, perhaps a quick introduction to your company.
Okay, Kun Dan, our firm is a boutique law firm. We try to focus on expats who want to invest in Thailand, buying properties. We also help with the due diligence, with the escrow service, reviewing the agreement, and also a registration at the land office on your behalf. So,
okay, well let's start in order of that then. And I know there's other things that you do as well, but we'll cover that in other vlogs such as tax to family matters. The family one was very interesting. But property, due diligence, what do you mean by that?
the due diligence is for me to go down and visit the site and make sure that the plot that you are purchasing is the same one that the seller is trying to sell to you. So I need to check whether it's the same plot. Is there any legal issues against that land, whether you can use the land for the purpose you intend to use. Because not many people want to buy land just to build a house. They may also want to buy land to do some resort or hotel or maybe some other business, including a restaurant. Because some area you cannot do and you need permits, you need specific permits. So this is something we can help and check whether you can do it or not. In some places, especially in island, they may have some restriction and limitation, like how far from the beach you can build and how high of the building you can build, because you cannot build like maybe more than 2 stories in some area. This is something we can check for you.
And it's interesting because it feels so obvious that you would get a lawyer involved with this expertise. But for some reason, when people come to Thailand, I say it with respect, they almost leave their brain at the airport and just buy from the heart. They buy something and they run into problems. I've seen it over the years. That's why I wanted you to share how you can help. When it comes to sales, purchase and lease agreements, what can you do there?
Okay, for the lease agreement, we can, if the lease is less than 3 years, so there is no need to register the lease at the land office. But if the lease agreement, if the lease term is more than 3 years, then you need to register it at the land office. And then all the documents to register at the land office will be in Thai. So if you don't engage a lawyer or have someone who you can trust and translate the document for you, you may not know what you are signing.
And don't just listen with the greatest respect to your Thai partner because they're not a lawyer and they can get it wrong. And it's a lot of money you're laying on the line here.
You're investing.
The escrow service, that's interesting because I didn't know you could do that in Thailand.
Okay, we can help the client like to receive the fund in case that the buyer is not in Thailand, and then we can hold it until the seller has fulfilled his condition and then release it to the seller at his nominated account. So if the seller has not fulfilled his obligations according to the agreement, then we don't release the fund. So that is how we can help the client with that. And also in case that the seller cannot come to Thailand and then he needs to sign the power of attorney, he doesn't have to be in Thailand. The buyer can transfer the fund into my firm's account and then I can transfer this out of Thailand for him. So he doesn't have to be in Thailand.
Okay. So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to cover?
Okay, let's go back to the due diligence. We can also help you to check the type of title document, because there are many types of documents in Thailand, title documents in Thailand. They can be Chnot or Nosor, they can be Nosor 3, Nosor 3 Ko, or possessory rights. So I would recommend we check that before you purchase. If you purchase other type of document, you may not be able to even buy that property, and then you may lose the deposit if you pay to someone who is not entitled to sell it to you ครับ
Okay. And the land office, I know that that's always a headache for lots of people.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time, and all documents are in Thai. So if you don't have anyone who can read and interpret the document for you instantly, you don't know what you are signing. The title deed will be in Thai. Your name at the back of title deed will be in Thai. Yeah. So you don't know the process. Why this move like this? Am I being cheated or not? How much is the government fees? I mean, are you going to trust the real estate agent solely to give you advice, or your wife or your Thai spouse?
Yeah. And why would you? This is what I don't understand that happens to people when they move over here. They're just trusting, they sign. There is legal support from people like you that know. Just make contact and protect your investment.
True, and my service fee is, I think, maybe less than 2 or 3%. It sometimes less than 1% of the value of the property you are purchasing or investing.
Yeah.
ครับ
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're
Really
welcome.
interesting for me as an expat. But I'm sure my viewers as well would have had some value out of that. And I hope they reach out to you and
you.
protect themselves when they come to buy a property.
Sure, my pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
ครับคุณแนน